Hi everyone, we are going to study about the judicial system of China in this video. The judicial system of China is very different from the judicial system of India. Let us see how. This is the organization of judiciary, the judicial structure. At the topmost level is the Supreme People's Court, then comes the Higher People's Court, and then the local courts. The Higher People's Court is the head of the court system in every province. We have studied that China has distributed itself into provinces, autonomous regions for administrative purposes. Middle level courts, they function in countries and autonomous units. The judicial structure is organized by the law. The work is supervised by the Supreme People's Court. That means the apex court is the Supreme People's Court. Each of the People's Court consists of a president and a number of judges who are elected by the Congress. See, this is a major difference between the judicial structure of India and China. The Indian judges are never elected. There is a particular requirement of qualification for them. But in China, these judges are elected by the Congress. Let us read about the apex court, the Supreme People's Court. It is mentioned in the Article 127 of the Constitution. This is the highest judicial organ. The tenure of the Supreme People's Court is 5 years. Composition is president, vice president, and judges. In case of India, there is no president and vice president present in the Supreme People's Court or in the Supreme Court. There is just the Chief Justice. The number of judges is fixed by the law. President is elected and removable by National People's Congress. Vice President and judges, these are elected by the Standing Committee, and the Standing Committee can also remove them. And the Standing Committee appoints them on the recommendation of the President. When the National People's Congress and the Standing Committee both are not in session, then the responsibility of completing all the tasks is of the Supreme People's Court. The functions of the Supreme People's Court are: it possesses original jurisdiction in cases of national importance. It also has appellate jurisdiction against the decisions of Higher People's Court. It establishes social legality. The Supreme Court of India does not have this function. Because China is a socialist country, that is why Supreme People's Court of China has the function of establishing social legality. It also has the functions which the NPC will give it. If NPC wants Supreme People's Court to perform a certain function, it can entrust the same to it. It also supervises the work of the courts below it. This is very implied that if it is the head of the judicial structure, then it will obviously look at the work of the courts below it. Then comes the People's Procurate. This is a new kind of a body in China in judicial structure, which is known as People's Procurate. Here also there is a Supreme People's Procurate and Local People's Procurate, which is at different levels. The Supreme People's Procurate is at the highest level, and the head of it is the Procurator General. There is also Military Procuratorate and Special People's Procurate. The election of Supreme People's Procurates. The Procurator General is elected by the National People's Congress for a tenure of 5 years, eligible for re-election but cannot serve for more than 2 consecutive terms. All the other members are appointed by the Standing Committee. Understand one thing. every office in China, except for the office of president, cannot serve for more than 2 consecutive terms and has the tenure of 5 years. Let it be Prime Minister, Vice Prime Minister, National People's Congress, Standing Committee, everybody has a tenure of 5 years, and the office of Procurator General, Auditor General, Prime Minister, Vice Prime Minister, all of them cannot serve for more than 2 consecutive terms. The maximum for which they can serve is of 10 years. Then comes the local people's procurate. It is elected by the local organs of state authority and it is also responsible to them. They function according to the principle of democratic centralism. That means democracy is because they are elected by the local organs of state authority, and centralism, it's because all the power is in their hands only. They work under the guidance of higher level procurates. They are also answerable to them. Supreme People's Procurate directs the work of local procurates. They in turn direct the work of procurates at lower level. That means they follow the principle of accountability. Everybody is accountable to their higher level. Then comes the independence of procuratorate system. In India, the judiciary is independent, but in China, there is independence of procuratorate system. The administrative organs, public organizations, or individuals do not interfere in their work. Like in India, the legislation and executive cannot interfere in the work of judiciary. Its independence ensures effective functioning of the procuratorial system in China. In case of India, the independence of judiciary ensures the effective functioning and justice to all the people. Same in the case of China, its independence ensures its effective functioning. It was abolished by the Constitution of 1975 but was reintroduced in 1978 and retained in the Constitution of 1982. In case you get a question in your examination, for whatever examination you are preparing for, that when was the procuratorate system abolished in China, then the answer will be in the Constitution of 1975. You can also get a question about its reintroduction. So it was reintroduced in 1978. Then comes the functions of the procuratorate. Present the people guilty of social illegality before courts and prosecute them. We know that a very important function of judiciary in China is to establish social equality because China is a socialist country. So their work is to present the people who are guilty of social illegality before the courts. It advises the government on legal matters. The judiciary in India also advises the government on legal matters. It also takes actions against the citizens and central and provincial government. It is the guardian of social equality. It ensures that the criminals who seek to sabotage the people's government are suppressed. It seeks people's unqualified support and obedience to the Communist Party. That means it makes sure that everybody, every single person in China is supporting Communist Party and no one should stand against it. It also coordinates its work with the class struggle. No person in China can be arrested without their prior sanction. To investigate cases of violation of law, especially counter-revolutionary crimes, it prosecutes the officials who, in their opinion, are guilty because they are unquestionable. Nobody can interfere in their work. So if any official is guilty in their opinion, they have full authority to prosecute them. It also exercised procuratorial authority over all the departments of State Council. That means all these functions are also applicable to the State Council. Then comes the critical appraisal of the Procuratorate. It is an instrument of the party for ensuring complete submission of the people before the wishes of the government. We have just seen a function of them which says that they seek people's unqualified support and obedience to the Communist Party. So they are just a puppet of the party or an instrument for ensuring complete submission of the people. Procurators headed by Procurator General play a vital role as instruments of judicial system. Then comes the salient features of judicial system in China. Now all the questions, all the queries about the judicial system will end because we are going to study it in detail, the features, the basic characteristics which a judiciary has in China. There are 7 features: single integrated judicial system, elected judiciary, no fixed qualification or tenure, open trials, no judicial review, judiciary not an independent branch, a committed judiciary. We will also relate these functions with the features of Indian judicial system. The first is single integrated judicial system. This is also present in India. There is a single unified judicial system that all the courts, everything of the judiciary is united and works under a single head, which is the Supreme People's Court in China and Supreme Court in India. Then comes elected judiciary. The judiciary in China is elected by People's Congress at different levels. But in India, the judges and the judiciary is not elected, they are qualified. The election of the judiciary also impairs the independence of the judiciary. There is no fixed qualification or tenure. But in India, there is a fixed qualification that you must be a holder of law degree and you must pass the respective exams to be appointed as a magistrate or a judge in India. But in China, there is no such fixed qualification. People who are tried communist and have full faith in Marxism and Maoism are elected as judges in China. The tenure is of 5 years, but they can be removed earlier if they fails to meet the expectations. However, in India, it is not an easy task to remove the judges because you need 2/3 majority of the parliament to remove a judge from its position. Open trials, according to Article 125, all the cases shall be heard in public except those involving special circumstances. The accused has the right of defense, but it is negated to counter revolutionaries. That means the ones who does not follow socialism, they do not even have the right to defend themselves. But in India, everybody has the right to defend. No judicial review. The laws passed by the NPC or the Standing Committee cannot be declared null and void by the Supreme Court. This means that once a law is passed by the NPC, it is unquestionable. No bill passed by the legislature can be contrary to the constitution unless it is so desired by the party bosses. That means if the party wants a bill to discontinue or says that the bill is in contradiction with the laws, then only the bill can be declared null and void. Otherwise, the Supreme Court does not have this power to declare a bill null and void. There is a question for you. You have to tell that does India has the power of judicial review or not? It's a very simple, easy question. You all must be knowing this. Does the courts in India has the power of judicial review or not? You can give me your answer in the comment box. Judiciary not an independent branch. Judiciary in China is not independent. It does not enjoy the position of parity with other branches of the government, because it is just a puppet of the party in China to act as a guardian of social legality. But in case of India, judiciary is an independent branch. A committed judiciary, it serves as a governmental machinery. It educates the citizens regarding socialist legality and social system. It assists the government in instilling dedication to socialist ideology. It helps the state in suppressing counter-revolutionary crimes. It helps upholding the integrity of the polity. That means the main task of the judiciary is to support the party, educate the citizens about social legality, act as a guardian of social legality, and that's it. Critical appraisal. First of all, it is not an independent branch. It is just like a department of government and not even a branch. It just implements the policies of the party and protect social legality. It is not the guardian of rights and the savior of constitution. However, the Indian judiciary is guardian of the fundamental rights and also the savior of the constitution. It is a part of the state power. It inculcates in people the spirit of devotion to fatherland and to the cause of socialism. It acts only as an instrument of government to carry out the dictates of the party. It just acts as an instrument of government to follow whatever the party says. It makes sure that people follow the didacts, that means the teachings of the party, and does not stand against the policies of the party. This was the judicial structure, judicial system of China. I hope this is clear to you. If you like the video, please press the like button and also subscribe to my channel. And I have given you a question in this video. Please mention your answer in the comment box. Thank you.